Hi, my name is Vincent LaBarbera. Welcome to our podcast, Mulberry Street Memories, growing up in Little Italy during the 40s, 50s, and 60s. This is one of the most famous place streets in New York City, Mulberry Street, between Prince Street and Houston Street. We are broadcasting from St. Patrick's Rectory, located at 263 Mulberry Street. It is across the street from Old St. Patrick's Church, now a basilica. I will be joined by Monsignor Donald Sukarno, who was at St. Patrick's Church. The two of us contributed to the book Meatballs and Stickball, edited by our good friend Richard Ronaldo. Welcome to episode 6, Mulberry Street Memories. Today, interesting enough, we have a very special guest. Her name is Jennifer Prezioso, and it's been the history of what she's done and the history of her family tree that has I asked her to be a special guest on this program because it's very interesting. Now, she is involved, and she's the owner and proprietor of Albanese Meats and Poultry, 238 Elizabeth Street, which is still standing after 103 years. So I'm going to interview her and talk to her about how the history came about and how did she get so involved. Jennifer, welcome, by the way. How did you get involved in this whole situation with the family tree with Albanese?
Yes. So first off, I just want to thank you for having me, and it's really nice to be a part of this podcast. I think it's really cool what you guys are doing, and I think it's fun to share with people stories that you guys have, because if not you, then who?
That's true. So how did it all start for you? At what age did you?
So I started, it'll be 9 years ago, which is really crazy to me. It feels like it was such a short time ago. I started helping my grandfather, who I was always very close with. He ate dinner at my house every night after work. He would come all the way back to Brooklyn, where he lived, and we spent a lot of time together from me as an early age. He was about 93 at the time I started helping him. So he was working by himself for about 15 years after his mom, Mary, she was the main lady there for many years. When she passed away in 2002, he just continued working by himself. And for him, it was like more of a hobby. It was a way to stay in the neighborhood and keep busy. And he wasn't super busy at the time I started helping him. And when the day that I started, it was really because of a driving incident. So he was driving home, and it was it was the first day of daylight savings time. So it gets dark very early. And he got lost, and someone gave him the wrong directions in Fort Greene, and he just missed the turn, which he did every day for 50 years. So I said, maybe I'll just start driving you home. At the time, I was acting, so I was an actor. I also had other, side jobs that I would do, and at the time, I had just finished doing a casting job that I was helping a friend with, and so I said, well, I'm not doing anything. Let me just drive you home, and I'd go to the city anyway for auditions and things like that. So that's how it started. I was his chauffeur. And then in addition, I was also just helping him clean and organize the store. He still had many photos from the 30s, and I was asking him questions about our family and who's this, and he would tell me stories. Then I started recording him. I started filming him. And then it kind of went from that to the lease renewal of the store, because we don't own the building,
right?
Which is crazy. And so I decided then that I would just spend a year and try and help him with the business.
I see.
Yeah.
Now, the idea, first of all, number one, little did I know, and we didn't know at the time, he was a graduate of college.
Yes.
Okay, he graduated college, and
He did,
it's
which was
amazing.
very rare at the time. So he was born in 1924.
Right.
When he went to high school, his mother actually asked the nuns at St. Loretta, which was the church they went to at the
Right.
time.
Mm-hmm.
She asked them, "Where can I send him?" I think, for me, it would be, pretty normal to assume she didn't want him hanging out here,
Right.
especially at that age because of the mafia here and the presence that was here that he
Right.
could be, kind of taken and worked with. So she sent him away to a military school. It was a boarding school out in Long Island, near Oakdale.
Is this LaSalle?
Yes, LaSalle
Okay.
Academy.
Academy. Yes.
So he went out there, which she, saved a bunch of money and sent him there. And then when he graduated, which would have been around like 1943,
Right.
everyone was going to the war because they had been, training and learning in the military school. So she was like, no, I want you to go to college. So he wanted to be a doctor. And so he went to Manhattan College
Right.
up north from here, from the city. And so he was there up until I think like 1946.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was Catholic school all the way for him.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
Catholic school. His mother, we knew, she was a fixture outside, her hair done all the time, sitting outside. Marianina,
Yes.
everybody knew who she was. And it just amazes me that, that you got I guess the idea of joining the family business. How did that develop? It slowly but surely. Was it something that it just came about, or?
Yeah, I never thought it was weird for a woman to be a butcher because my whole childhood, I had my great-grandmother who was a butcher. So, for
yes.
me, it never seemed weird. I just said, oh, well, that's what she did. But, and I knew her until I was about 14. She passed in 2002.
2002,
So
right.
I knew her like a good deal of my childhood.
Right, so you knew about
coming here, picking her up. We have lots of funny stories about her, especially around the holidays, because most of the time she was here working.
all the time. Mary the Butcher. Everybody knew her as Mary the Butcher.
Yeah.
Interesting enough, he had a younger brother, Vincent. Now,
Yes.
Vincent, we knew him as Vinna when he was younger, but I played stickball with him in on the stickball games for a few years, and he was a very good hitter, good line drive hitter. You could tell him that I said so. Okay.
I will.
All right, but Vinna was a very good. I met him actually at a time. You were actually talking to your grandfather and writing stuff down. The first time I ever met you was probably a few years ago.
Yes.
And you were writing all these notes, and I guess little did I know, I thought you were interviewing him, or you were asking him a lot of questions because I went to say hello to him.
Yeah, I was probably writing. I spent a lot of time, especially before I was really cutting meat all the time there. I would be writing. I was writing, stories, short stories, things like that. So the stores, when you're there, especially for me, it's been very inspiring to be there. And people tell me that when they come to the store now, or they share stories of my family, and I think it can hit a certain thing in people that they say, oh, my family had this, and I think that connection is the most important thing we have now, especially person to person connection above all. But
Yeah.
yeah.
But the idea of getting and cutting the meat, et cetera, is a big transition from you. I mean,
Yeah.
you were going to be an actress. I mean,
I was always I enjoyed the culinary world. So,
Right.
I would help my mom cooking, or I was coming up with my own recipes, and so I was always in the kitchen helping or doing something. And when he was there, it just came very natural that I wanted to help him. And so that means like organizing the showcase and putting the correct prices on, because maybe he'd get the prices wrong on
Right.
things. And so he would just show me, he'd be like, okay, you can. He was always um, very encouraging for the do it yourself. So like even with my mother, he taught her, how to do things around the house and, things to fix your home when you need, caulking done or you need to do plaster work or painting. He came from a generation where they did everything themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So for him, like he really enjoyed teaching me. And, it would be difficult sometimes because I have to remember, especially if you don't cut something for a while, like deboning a leg of lamb or
Right.
doing things like that, especially holiday stuff. And, between working with him hands-on and then also doing a lot of research myself. So always watching videos and reading books and just trying to educate myself. Because, I won't say I'm the best butcher, but I learned from him, and how he learned to cut the meat is how, people were maybe eating here a long time ago.
Oh, sure.
Especially like the chicken cutlets. I mean, I grew up having his chicken cutlets or my great grandmother's chicken cutlets my whole life. So, and there's people in this neighborhood that still, they've never
Remember.
had chicken cutlets from someone else. They
Right.
like those chicken cutlets.
Exactly.
And when people try them, or they're sitting there and they're watching me make it, and they go, wow, like, how are you doing that? What do you, and I say, yeah, like, I don't leave that piece in. I don't slice it frozen. It's like everything's done with an artistic touch.
Yeah.
And that's what I really respected when I started learning from him.
Yeah, Mo always impressed us. Number one, he was a gentleman. He was always his disposition.
Yeah.
Very mild-mannered guy, unlike many of the people in the neighborhood.
Yes.
He wasn't loud. He was soft-spoken, and it was easy to talk to him. In fact, we met at a renewal. They had at the youth center a few years ago before he passed away.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably 90, and Vinner was there. His brother was there.
Yeah.
And we spoke a little bit about it, and it was just like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
There was so much information you wanted to get from him because he was such an interesting guy to talk to.
Yeah.
And you learned from him. So that's a great story. A female in that business. You had to be
Yeah.
really a little bit strong with cutting and having the meats and registering all this on your mind. That's from being a possibility of what was your inspiration prior to that? You wanted to be an actress or
Yeah, so at the time I was acting. Even when I first started working with my grandfather, I was in a show. The show was on St. Mark's. It was in a theater on St. Mark's. And so I would drop him off or go to the market with him, etc. I would go to my rehearsals. I would come back, and then I would take him home. I'd be there for like an hour or something, help him clean up, and then I'd take him home. So that was kind of like for a couple of months. And then he went to go see the show, and he goes, Jen, how about I pay you to not go to the show?
really?
I said, Grandpa, that's not nice. But when you're an actor, you take whatever you get, whatever that comes your way.
It's a very difficult situation.
So-
There's a million actors in this world. Not
Yeah.
everybody could be De Niro, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But the fact that you now jumped into another situation which was far different
Yeah.
than is quite extraordinary, I think, at this point.
Thank
and
you.
you seem to be very happy
Yes.
doing this.
Yes. I mean, I think like I remember I had a couple of different conversations, and one who was an artist that was very well known, and he was so impressed with what I was doing. And many, many days I was very confused, and I said, what am I doing? Like, this doesn't make sense. Am I wasting time here? But I truly believe that when you're an artist, you're always an artist. That doesn't leave you. You don't stop doing it or thinking about it. And so when I did decide to be there with him, he was a little confused, and he said, well, Jen, like, don't you want to sing? Like, because I sang as well. I sang, I danced. and I acted. So he loved to see me on stage, and he said, well, Jen, like, I don't understand. You don't want to do that anymore? I said, it's not that I don't want to do it. It's that this has such an importance and meaning for me, and I can always do that. I could decide when I'm 50 that I want to go back into it, and that'll be fine. I think life has a way of figuring out your journey for you.
I
so.
see. Yeah, I think that is really very, very interesting. The fact that you made the leap into this, and now, do you have any siblings? Do you have a?
I do. I have an older brother. He works in the finance world. He lives in Westchester. But like my family, they love to come by, especially it's like my birthday we're celebrating, or I usually have like a nice big party and I invite my customers to come, and they get a chance to meet my niece and my nephew, who are
I
now
see.
like they're 5 and 8. But I have their pictures on
Right.
the cash register, just like my family used to have my pictures up there. And so I think it's a great way of them with like connecting with the city and the community. And my mom is there, like she tries to come now once a week. I say it's funny because it skipped a generation, because
Right.
I learned from my grandfather.
Right.
And really, my uncles, they did work, they helped out when they were younger,
Of course.
but no one ever took over the store or worked alongside him.
No, never.
So, or my great grandmother. So I always think it's funny because now my mom comes and helps me. We actually make her meatball recipe on Saturdays, and we sell the meatballs
Oh.
ready to cook. And so those were like fun things that we decided to do, to create just more connection with the people who are buying things. It's like, no, my mother makes this, and she's here right now, and she's helping me make it. And now my husband makes it, so that's the joke, is that he learned the recipes, so now he's making them.
So you're teaching everybody how to do everything now. The youngest one, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And the story just keeps going on and on. Well, stories like this are very, very far and few between because of the dedication. A family tree, 103 years
Yeah.
of doing, of being in this business. And everybody knew, the Albanese, and we all walked by and we always talked. It was like the neighborhood was conversation, and everybody knew everybody, as they know, and this is continuing now. You're continuing the legacy of this Albanese meats and poultry.
Yeah.
And what else can I tell you? I mean, for a young person who has such an ambition and desire to just succeed in this, and you always have people in the store
Yes.
when I've come.
That's the good thing,
That's a
right?
good
So
thing.
like over the years, and especially when my grandfather passed away from COVID in early 2020, it really shined a light on how many people knew the store and knew of the store. And so just really since then, since I decided to reopen and keep it going, we've just had so many people who have never even shopped in a butcher store in their whole life.
Right.
Young people, and I think my grandfather would have been so happy to see all of these young people cooking, and that's become now a trend, is everyone educating themselves on how to cook and what is good food and how to eat and where to go eat. And so it's just been really a pleasure to be a part of that part now of the store.
Yeah, you keep, something, and you keep the store meticulous, because there's the meat area. You
Oh,
can't have
thanks.
anything, nothing touches the meat, okay? Where that area is, you can't place anything on the meat side,
Nope.
okay? That's a wonderful thing, and you're open how many days a week now?
So I'm there 6 days a week.
6 days a week.
And we are getting busy, so it is important for me to find some help, so I can have a little work-life balance, because it is just me for the most part. I'm there 6 days a week. So I think now I'm in this new phase of the store where maybe we can add some prepared stuff. Maybe we can do a sandwich on the weekends, or just fun things to keep the store relevant and fun. Because people, when they come to a party, they say, "Oh my God, Jen, this is so good. You should make this in the store." I want them to be a part of the growth of the store. I don't want to change everything overnight and then say, "Come here." I want to make money.
I guess the person you hire, you have to teach them the way your grandfather taught you.
Yeah. Well, it would be ideal if they have knife skills.
That was.
I had some, but you got to learn the different knives to use.
Oh yes, there's so much involved.
Pressure. I mean, the chicken cutlets—that's the hardest thing. So
that's it. You have to do it and it takes time and develop, etc. But I don't know what else to say except that this story, I hope it goes on and on forever.
Thank
because
you.
It's just a wonderful story to tell everybody and the viewers to know. Remember one thing: it's Albanese, meats and poultry, 238 Mulberry Street. Excuse me, what did I say? Oh my God. No, it's Elizabeth Street. I apologize. 238 Elizabeth Street. Actually, it's actually almost directly across the street from where Scorsese was born, 253 Elizabeth Street. That's
and
right.
our families, they shopped there, and they were very close with my great grandmother, and so it's a lovely block. That block has a lot of beautiful history to it. Some not good, but a lot of very good history.
Well, a lot of things were going on Mulberry Street. I was born on Prince between the Bowery and actually on Elizabeth Street, off Elizabeth Street, right around the corner. So I wasn't too far myself. And they have a history, and boy, let me tell you, there was a history of everyone there, and everybody knew everybody's business. But the meat store still exists, and that's the greatest thing I've ever heard. I really mean it. And I wish you the very best of luck, Jennifer. You're a delight
so
to talk
much.
to.
Thank you.
And we will be meeting again, and I hope you expand the right way with the right people, growing the business, because you've continued the legacy of this wonderful meat store, Albanese. And I
now
guess
my husband's there. He's Italian. He's from the north of Italy. So we're making it a little more Little Italy again.
Oh, well, I think that's a wonderful thing. And, I wish you the best of luck on your marriage and your future.
Thank you.
As I said before, just take care of yourself, and we'll meet again.
Oh, yeah.
And talk again. But I want to make sure everybody knows exactly that this is the first special guest that we have on the episodes, and our podcast. So, Jennifer, stay well, and we'll be in touch to be continued, all right?
Thank you so much.
All right.
You come get some meatballs
Oh,
soon.
I will get meatballs and whatever you have there. You have such a nice selection to choose. That gentleman said, "Wow, he can't believe the wonderful selection." And I got to tell you something. And we'll be seeing you soon, and we'll be visiting, coming back and forth. All right.
Come by anytime.
All right. You take care now and stay well. I know you have to open the store now soon.
Thank you. Yeah, I got to go open it now.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, stay well and take care of yourself. And thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And now back to our memoirs, Mulberry Street Memoirs.
Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, the 4 or 5 people that we grew up with that were slightly older than us, that were very, very tough. And I'm going to mention their names, and Joe is going to comment on all of them, okay? Joe, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Ready as I'm ever going to be.
Good. Okay, the first one is Sally Poof.
So I really don't know a lot about him. And I have really no good things, because he murdered somebody that I grew up with that was about half of his size.
Yes, Joe, I know.
Was he convicted? Was he arrested? Was he
He
arrested?
was, he was a tough guy on Houston Street.
Who was it? Who did he murder?
Do you remember? Oh my goodness, I know the woman's nickname, but
I think supposedly Joe, was it Pepe?
that's it, Pepe.
Pepe.
I was trying to think of his name,
Right.
his last name. His mother was his mother had a lot of sisters that lived in lived in my area on Lafayette Street and Kenmare Street.
Yeah.
His mother's name was Helen. His father, turned out his father went to jail or got the electric chair. He was also a killer. And Pepe was a tough kid, but he was like half
Yeah.
the size of Sally Poop.
Yeah.
So that was unfortunate that he did that. But, Sally was a big guy.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I don't know I think his brother was a tougher guy than him.
I agree.
I think
His brother was in our class.
Jojo, when
John.
Jojo
Jojo.
What are
basically
you talking about?
decided to become a fighter, Jojo was a package, and boy, was he nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
He was complete. He lost his marbles.
Wait a minute.
He
You haven't
hit a
you haven't
guy.
finished with Sally Poop. I mean, take one
Yeah.
of them.
Sally
Was
Poof.
Sally Poop, was he convicted? Was he arrested
Poop.
and convicted?
Poof.
No, it wasn't.
Poof. Poof.
He ended up, no, they had a trial and the guy, they didn't have enough evidence. And the family ended up leaving New York and going to Philadelphia.
Mm.
And Jojo and his brother must have terrorized Philadelphia for a few weeks.
Napolitano.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lord.
Joe-
All right.
Jojo on Mott Street.
Hey,
One day hit a
remember
guy
how-
so hard, he fell forward.
All right. Are we finished with Sally Poof? Okay, the next person, Joe, I want you to comment this. Tough Galorge.
Oh, that guy was a tremendous guy.
Yeah.
Hello, gorgeous. I have to leave. Give me a second.
He was tremendous in what way tremendous? Big?
You see this
Large?
beautiful kid? Look at this little girl.
Oh,
Oh,
beautiful.
You see her?
beautiful.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi,
Single.
sweetheart.
Very good.
Hello. All right, Tough Galorge, Joe.
Tough Galoch. You know what? Give me a few minutes. I'm going to the car. Bye, Danny.
Okay, go ahead, Joe. I'll finish up with Tough
Yeah,
Galorge, and then you
I'll
can finish
come
the
back to
rest.
Tough Galoch. in a few
Tough
minutes.
galore? Is that what you're saying?
Galore.
Galorge.
Galorge.
Charlie. It means Italian Charlie.
Yeah,
There
Galorge.
used to be two guys in our neighborhood. One was Tough Galorge, and the other one was Fairy Galorge. Because Tough Galorge was very compact. He was probably about 5'3", 4".
Yeah. Yeah.
But he was tough as nails. He actually fought Sally Poof, and Sally Poof was about 6 foot, 6'1", I guess, 6 foot. He was a big guy, twice his size, and they had a pretty close fight. But he was one of the toughest guys, and everybody feared him. Never said too many words, but don't get near him because, quite frankly, he would, he was a terror. Everybody was afraid of him because he didn't say much. He came from Italy, and nobody would want to mess with him.
Well, he's
And,
gone.
what was that?
Bye. Bye, honey.
Go ahead. He's distracted. Joe is talking to someone else.
Okay, so he was the two. They were the two people I remember. Older, they were a few years older than all of us, but they were the toughest guys in that neighborhood, like on Prince Street
Hey,
and
Vinny,
Elizabeth Street.
your nickname was Tough Galoch. You had to be tough.
Yes, Tough Galorge. Now, Joe, the other two people I want to mention, okay, are two people that I know you know, okay? And you could comment because this is more toward Hester Street. One was Howie Polteri and Peter Scalfani. So I just want you to comment on both of them.
Well, Howard had to be like a legend.
Right.
He was always considered toughest kid at the school. The school I got it, Danny. The school that was, I forgot, PS 23, the one on Hester
PS
and
130.
Vega.
PS 130.
No, I had to pull it up. Anyway, everybody was terrified of him. And I asked Peter one time if he could take Howard. He said no. He wouldn't say no to anybody else, but he couldn't take Howard. And then Peter was like somebody from another planet. He was the only way to describe Peter was feral. He was feral. He was few people in the neighborhood. In fact, nobody in the neighborhood went out of their way to have a beef with him. There were guys that probably could take him, but you were going to get blood on you, whatever the situation.
He had that good right hand, Joe.
Oh yeah, he hit you with that shot, you were done.
But tell Monsignor Joe that you hung out with Peter Sclafani.
For a few years when I was a teenager and a dope. Yeah. I was I mean we were together for a few years. I don't know. I tell you, I must have been the luckiest kid in the world because the shit that we got involved with and got away with. I don't know if anybody here knows of a guy named Frankie Black. You ever hear that name?
Yeah, sure.
Frankie Black. Well, Frankie
Sure.
Black. Dan, what happened, Dan?
Go ahead. He's looking for something.
Oh, Frankie Black. Frankie Black was he was a mob related guy, and he was so bad that even the guys that were killers would avoid Frankie Black because he was big. He was like 220 or 230. He used to be a fighter. He was a fighter. And anyway, we went up he had a club on the Bowery. And we ended up in a situation where we were drinking next to this young girl.
Sorry.
You just turned it off.
Sure.
We were
My
drinking.
music.
We were drinking next to this young girl. So we started talking with her and she was very uninterested in having a conversation with us. And we probably had a little bit too much to drink. We weren't drunk, but we were, we were a little bit in our cups.
Happy.
And Peter's basically, when he actually bought a drink, ordered a drink for her, she wouldn't take it and he spilled it on her.
Nice.
So she said,
Oh.
No, I'm saying he sounded like a nice guy.
oh, it was a
Yeah,
wonderful.
I'm on the call. I gotta be on the call. I know. You probably don't want women to.
So what happened was she turned around and she said, you're going to be sorry for that. She said, my boyfriend is Frankie Black. So my instinct was to leave immediately because there was no fighting with Frankie Black. He was an animal.
How old were
So
you
anyway,
at
we
the time,
didn't go.
Joe? How old were you?
I was probably 16.
Okay.
16. Before I hurt my back. At my physical peak, which didn't mean anything with respect to Frankie Black. So he was, we stayed. The girl stayed at the bar, and a few minutes, maybe an hour passed. And then somebody tapped me on my shoulder. And I turned around, and I'm looking into this massive chest.
Bro,
You lost it.
Yeah. Bad spot right now.
This is worse than cable.
someone
TV.
pick up the story. Come on. Oh, there you go.
And I said, I'm thinking,
No, you don't have to drive.
we're in a lot of trouble here. And I said, I looked at him and I said, even if I had a crowbar in my hand now, I don't think I could do much damage to you. He got such a kick out of that. He put his arm around me and Pete, and we were with him for like an hour. And he completely disregarded the girl who was telling him all these bad things about, at least, about Peter, but I didn't really do anything to her. So anyway, we left that night, no issues with him. I said, gee, I think we were a little lucky tonight. The next day, Peter's brother was Gus Galfani.
Yeah.
As many of
Yes,
you
boy.
may or may not know, Gus
Tire pressure.
was a killer.
I
And-
got it.
Oh, it's nothing. Gus was very bad. Anyway, Gus told us that he banned us from going up to the club again because Gus was a little afraid of Frankie Black. And that was our last experience up there. But we were very, very, I think he just felt, I didn't think he wanted to really kick the shit out of two kids. And that's what saved us from Frankie Black.
Mm.
But what was unbelievable was that he was he was Gus was very concerned about what happened with Frankie Black. And that was, that was shocking to us because when the mob needed somebody to be eliminated in those years, usually they would hang out with Gus and then we wouldn't see them anymore, whoever it was.
Joe,
Anyway, that was my little spin on a few of those people.
All right, thanks, Joe. I got to ask you,
I got a
John
question
Buffalo.
for Joe. Joe, was Peter Scofani the guy with the razor blade in his hands?
No,
No,
Ah,
no.
he didn't have a razor blade. He had what he had in his fist, John, was steel.
No, but there was one of those guys.
Oh, you know who was bad like that? Butch.
Oh, Butch. Yeah.
Crazy Butch.
Yeah.
Bad like that.
Crazy Butch. Well, that's another guy.
Right, the story was that he had a problem in this club after hours place, and he was alone, and then he left, and he came back, and he started punching everybody, except that he had razor blades in his hand, and he just cut everybody up.
Joe, what about the head? What about the head with his hands?
Who?
Vinny head.
No.
Well, Vinny had, I tell you what, I've never seen Vinny punch anybody, but I did see Vinny do something that I said, Vinny's got to be, if he's not the toughest, worst guy in the neighborhood when it comes to fighting, I don't know who is. Anyway, there were these people, these two brothers that lived on Hester Street. I can't remember the guy's name now, but both of them were nuts. And one of them was built like Steve Reeves. He was, they had no education. They were feral also. They were two big guys. Everybody stayed away from them. I think his name was Gerald. His nickname was Brother Gerard.
Yes, you're right, Joe.
And Brother Gerard
Was that Gerald Galtieri?
No.
Jerry Galtieri?
No, Brother
No.
Gerard.
Brother Gerard.
Gerard.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
So now it's like the summer that I was 16 years old. It was a rainy day.
Oh, yeah.
And
Oh,
brother,
yeah.
we're in a building.
Yeah, no problem.
And they're playing like a card game. And Vinny was playing with Brother Gerard and two other
Everything's fine. Everything's
okay? And all of a sudden, like Vinny looks up at Gerard and he says, did you play that card before like Brother Gerard cheated? And Brother Gerard said, yeah. Like, what are you going to do about it? And in one instant, Vinny smacked him so hard in the face that I thought he broke his neck. And Gerard was terrified. And Vinny said, get out. And he said, I don't want you on this block again. If I see you here, he said, I'll kill you. And Gerard got up. Now, Gerard was afraid of nobody that we saw. He would terrorize everybody because he was a big, strong, powerhouse nut. He got up, and that was the last we saw of Brother Gerard on Hester Street. So, as I said, I never saw Vinny punch anybody. But do you remember when he would wrestle with all the boys, all these big kids?
Yeah.
Toss around Mikey Youth like he was a rag doll.
Yeah. Vinny.
And he's Spoda too. He
Joe, were you
terrorized
down-
Spoda.
Joe, were you down in James Center when he closed the lights in the shower?
No,
Oh.
no, but I heard about that, but I wasn't there.
Frankie Fafa was down there. I think he threw a cue ball or something. Then he closed the lights. He gave about 9 guys a beating down there. I don't know.
Yeah, but we have to tell Monsignor what a great athlete he was, Vinny had.
Tremendous.
Oh my God.
He was probably the
He
only player.
He was the best athlete. He was the best athlete from our neighborhood. Like,
Absolutely. He
Yeah.
could have made the
Somebody
major
too.
leagues too. He could have made the major leagues.
he,
What
the
happened to
Giants.
these
he
people?
won. He was actually drafted by the New York Giants, and I'm pretty sure it was the Giants.
Giants.
One of the good,
Giants.
Giants.
and they sent him to Texas. I forget which minor league team he was playing on. Wait. Okay. He went to
Pay attention to your phone.
yes, dear. And they couldn't stand it. He got homesick and he just left the camp, and that was the end of his baseball career. So he was a little weak-minded.
Yeah. Louis Mangello was sick.
Oh my God, they trained the guy for years and years. I tell you what, that guy had an arm that was just amazing. He was very strong. You know, if you go, I probably told this story a few times, but if you go to Hester and Mott and you stand in the middle of the street, right in front of Vincent's Clam Bar,
Right.
and you look east to where the James Center was, Vinny threw lemons or limes completely over the James Center roof from that
That's
spot.
amazing.
God.
So I defy anybody, you know, that's not on steroids and is not a major league pitcher to do something like that. That was unbelievable that he could throw anything over the roof.
Wow.
And I remember like he did it as a bet, and the loser had to take 4 of us, including him and Patsy Credit, to Nathan's in Coney Island, where I think Patsy and Vinny set the single night record for Frankfurt is at 50. I think the first order was 50 francs, and between the two of them, they ate about 35 of them.
Jesus.
You know what, a strong right, but he wasn't a bad guy or anything like that. But Georgie Catalano, it's, as I recall, he decked a few people with one shot.
Yeah, he was a good hitter too.
Yeah.
He always managed to get that first shot in. The difference between them is that if he missed the first shot, it was usually a fight. You know, you got a little blood on him. Peter, with my history with Peter, never missed that first shot. He always hit the guy, and if he didn't knock him out, he hurt him badly, and you were unable to return even if you were a big guy, one day Eugene Potosi decided that he was going to try to take Peter, and they actually they faced off against each other. Peter didn't have a chance to hit him the first shot, but he did hit him once or twice. And Eugene, after maybe 20 seconds, said, "All right, I had enough." That was the end of Eugene.
And Joe, tell the Monsignor how old was Peter when he died? Because he had a half a lung.
I think he was 30.
30 is right.
Yeah, he was a tuberculosis patient as a young kid. And he went to he was in a place where they treat tuberculosis for children. And he was probably there for, a couple of years as a kid. So he grew up in a unfortunate circumstance. He went to PS, whatever it was. He never went to high school. He could read and write, but barely. So he would have been on his way to being he would have definitely been a mob guy. At the end, I think he was in training.
You know what amazes me,
But he
Joe, that
drank.
you hung out with him for a few years. And here you are.
I was too stupid to know any different.
Oh,
And
God.
thank God nothing ever happened to you.
Nothing. As I said, I was charmed.
Hey, Red, weren't you involved with, they thought you were Big Gus when he got out of jail?
Yes. What happened was, for some crazy reason, actually it happened at your store.
Yeah.
What happened was I was sitting with a group of people for breakfast one day, and all of a sudden Charlie West was a mafia guy, DeLutro, walked over to me, and all of a sudden he handed me an envelope. I was sitting down, and he said, "Here, please take this." So I had no idea. I said, "Okay." So what happened after that, I looked at the envelope, I went to the bathroom, and it was $5,000. I said, "This guy must be definitely, I got the wrong guy." So actually, John, your father said, "You better give it back. He thinks you're somebody else. You think he thinks you're Big Gus," because Charlie West couldn't see too well.
Wait a minute. Who is Big Gus? Wait a minute. Am I the
Big
only one?
Gus is Peter
Vinny.
Scafani's brother. That's the one
Vinny,
Joe Russo was talking about. Gus.
Mistaking you for Big Gus
It's
and
crazy.
And using the expression "couldn't see too well" is what they call an understatement.
Of course, Charlie West couldn't see. He had thick glasses. I don't know how he even thought I was Big Gus. I was nowhere near
Well,
his
you know,
size.
Vinny, you were sitting. You were
Now, go
sitting.
on, what happened?
That's why.
Vinny, did you pay the money back? Obviously you did.
I had to give it back. I gave it back to to John's father, and he gave it back.
Sometime later, not the same day. So you're walking
that
around with this
was-
money.
I think, it might have been later in the day. I'm not sure exactly, but I
Great
handed it.
story.
He said he'd take care of it.
Vinny
He
Wright,
said he'd take care of it.
my father
Good
never
story.
gave
Oh,
Vinny,
yeah.
Did Monsignor Tommaso make you a
He is on the
guy
court.
to go around for the collection?
No.
Vinny,